What is up guys, TechRex here. So in this video we're going to be drop testing every Samsung Galaxy Note phone ever released. That includes the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the new 5. And if you guys haven't seen how the 5 looks like, here's just a quick glimpse. This thing is truly a beast. It's got that similar S6 design form factor, and this is one of the nicest phones that I've ever seen come out recently. And this is just going to be so interesting to see which phone is truly the most durable device. All of these have been so popular, they have such a huge history, and we're going to be doing 10 drop tests, 2 on each phone from the side and on the front from about 5 feet. This is going to be very interesting to see the results, and reason being why it's 5 feet is I feel like a little less it might survive. Higher than that, there's a high chance it will probably crack, and I feel like just consistency within my personal experience, 5 feet has been that optimal drop testing height. So without any further ado guys, I don't want to keep rambling on. Let's go straight into the drop test and see the results. First up, we have the Note 1 side drop test. Let's go ahead and do this in 3, 2, 1. So let's take a quick look here. I'm seeing some color distortion. It's a little bit pinkish. Let's go ahead. Very interesting. So on that bottom left hand corner there's a crack, and I'm, for some reason, okay, so I'm able to, the color is just all distorted. It's kind of pinkish, and I'm not, okay, I'm able to go like this. So this is a really interesting result here. Haven't had something like this, but back cover kind of slipped off. Let's move on into the front-facing drop test. Ooh, definitely weird. This phone is definitely acting really funky. But again, let's go into the front-facing drop test and we'll see what happens with that. Note 1 front-facing drop test. Let's go ahead and do this in 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Let's take a look at that. That did not sound good. And whoa, some crazy. Look at that display. That turned out from like orange, which was the standard wallpaper color, to pink to green. And I definitely think this, oh, it still powers on and off, but I'm unable to do anything. Back cover came off, and definitely one of the most interesting results from a drop test here. This is the Note 1. Let's move on into the Note 2. Galaxy Note 2 side drop test. Let's do this in 3, 2, 1. Let's take a look here. Whoa. Okay, we're having a little boot up. The pen almost came off. Let me push that back in, but let's go ahead and just take a look. What is this thing doing? We're seeing a little screen here. Back looks kind of good. No. Oh, okay. So really interesting. Almost exactly the same thing with the Note 1. We have a crack line along that bottom left-hand corner, but no color distortion, and everything still seems to be in working order. So let's move on into that front-facing drop test, and we'll see what that does to this phone. Note 2 front-facing drop test. Let's go ahead and do this in 3, 2, 1. That did not sound pretty, and this is so similar to that Note 1, but oh my goodness. Take a look at that. That is some interesting color scheme right there. Back cover flew out. Does it power on and off? Okay, so I powered it off, but now it doesn't want to power on. Very interesting, but you can see a shatter along the entire front of the screen. Back cover again flew off, and I'm not, obviously I can't really use this as a phone anymore. So that's going to make us move on to the Note 3. This is the Galaxy Note 3 side drop test. Let's do this in 3, 2, 1. Okay, flew all the way to the grass. Let's just take a quick look. And I don't see too much anything that catches my eye. Everything seems to be working. Actually, no cracks at all on the entire front display. Back cover kind of came off, but you can see easily snaps back together. Pen almost flew off. Everything looks to be really well though, besides that. So let's go ahead. Of course, you have that little initial scrape in the corner. Let's move on to the front-facing drop test for the Note 3. Galaxy Note 3 front-facing drop test. Super windy, but let's go ahead and do that test in 3, 2, 1. Flat on its front. That did not sound good as well. Let's take a look. And of course, shatter across the entire front display. Does it still work? Yes, I'm able to do things. Everything is still fluent. Taking a look at the back. Back cover is still intact. Let's move on to the Galaxy Note 4. And again, just one more closer analysis here. Full extent of the damage. Galaxy Note 4 side drop test in 3, 2, 1. Let's take a closer look here. Pen, as you can see, is almost out, and no cracks initially on that screen, on that front display. Back cover seems to be well placed back together, and then okay, so here's the initial scrape on that corner, and nothing too visible that I can see besides that. So we're gonna just move on to that front-facing drop test and see what that does to this phone. Galaxy Note 4 front-facing drop test. Let's go ahead and do this in 3, 2, 1. Flat on its front. Let's go ahead and take a look. Also did not sound pleasant. Look at that. Entire shatter everywhere. Again, am I still able to do things? Yes, I am. Back cover seemed to be intact. Sides, pretty much the same. Okay, there's the little back cover part, so it did kind of try and come off a little bit. But again, you can see a shatter everywhere. That does not render the device useless, though. I'm still able to do everything I want to do. And let's move on to that big Galaxy Note 5. This is it, the Galaxy Note 5 side drop test. Let's do this in 3, 2, 1. Fell a bit in an angle, but let's just take a closer look. Push the pen back in as it kind of flew off. So screen doesn't seem to be cracked. Let's take a look. Oh, look at that back plate. The back is shattered from a side drop test. So you can see that from this little area, which was the initial impact, and then this little crack or mark on that corner. So we're gonna move on into the front-facing drop test, see what that does. But the back plate is shattered. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay guys, front-facing drop test of the Samsung Galaxy Note 5. This is it. Here's the phone. Let's do this in 3, 2, 1. That was pretty flat on its front. Let's take a look. Whoa. What is going on here? Let me go ahead and set this. It's super dark here. Look at that. That is really, really weird. It's like exactly proportional. Looks like like a triangle or something. I don't know. But everything seems to work or not. No, it doesn't. Let me power this phone off and now on. I can't do anything. This is really, really weird. I've never seen something like this for a front-facing drop. And the funny thing is, I don't even see a crack. There is literally zero shatter on that front-facing plate. But when you turn it on, you see this. So this is really incredible. I've never seen anything like that. Okay, so quick recap of all of these phones. First off, Note 1. So as you can see, I can't bypass this. This is really strange. We just have some color distortion. Again, it was pink, then it was blue. Does power on, and I can power it off as well, as you can see right there, but I can't do anything about that, and now it won't even show that strange color stuff. Anyway, so that's the Note 1, as you can see. Still trying, and there's a little bit of stuff chipping off here as well. Moving on to the Note 2. So when you turn this thing on, you could just see these lines here on the bottom, on the top, and again, nothing other than that. So I can still power it on and off, but that's the Note 2. Note 3. So we can turn this thing on, and everything works perfectly fine, but you just have that shattered screen. And that's pretty much it for the Note 3. And the interesting thing is the Note 4 is the same exact thing, except I can actually, the shatter is a lot more. It's increased heavily than the Note 3. So same thing, everything works perfectly fine, but just look at that shatter comparison on those two devices here. And then the Note 5, probably the strangest results I've ever experienced. Look at that closer look. So there is actually a hairline crack along here and then also along here, but it did so well. But when you turn it on, it's just this, and I can't do anything. So you can see I'm unable to do anything, so it'll just turn off on its own. And then the back, which is super interesting because this was a side drop, and look at the extent of the damage on the back. This is really horrible. For all that damage on that back side just from a side drop. Again though, one of the coolest things, or I guess strangest, is that strange triangle shape on that front screen though. And I can't do anything too, I can't really bypass that as well, but it does power on and off. And that is pretty much it, guys, for all of the drop tests. Thank you guys for watching. As always, stay tuned for more videos, and peace out.